Hey guys, Elizabeth Quinn here again with Elizabeth's Steens and Scents. Welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to check out my website, which is waftingwonderfulwax.scentsy.us, where I'm Liz Quinn, your Star Scentsy consultant. So today what I have for you is part 2 in our kind of week-long series, well, I'll put something out every couple days, of my transitional wax stash. And what I've got here is the rest of my greens, which are just a few that will go more with part 1 when it comes to green and clean. All of my yellows and oranges, well, some of them, and then all of my spice woods and bakery that's going to be in the brown tones. And I have to tell you that if I had to color code, what would be the bins that Elizabeth would give up last? Like, these are the ones that are my ride or dies. It would be all of the brown and cream bins because those are full of the spice, and the bakery, which are my all-time favorites all year round. So let's just dive right on in. Part 2, I'm thinking, will be a little longer than part 1, and then last we will do all the romantic, the floral, the fruity, the oranges, like the salmony red oranges, and the purples, and the pinks, and the reds, and all that stuff. So let's get started with a few more kind of fresh and clean smells that were bright green. So my older daughter loves Chase Rainbow's green, which to me is almost like apples and baby powder, but she loves it. And it does smell very, very good in her room. It's a nice, clean, crisp green apple. That was a good scent, and I got a couple of those for her in a flash sale. Mojito Mambo. Now here is an old bar that I love, and we can get it in a random whiff box. I think it was last summer or the summer before. I have 2 or 3 of these now. This is the nicest mint scent. I was just talking about the mint fields that we had from Epcot last year, but this smell includes a little bit of like a lime and a mint and a mojito with the effervescence. It is so, so nice. And I've got a couple bars of this that I will happily melt this summer or even this spring. Great bar that I miss very much. Here we have A is for Apple. This is one of the nicest just spring apple scents with a tiny touch of floral. I believe we're getting Apple Crush, which is similar to this, back for Bring Back My Bar, but A is for Apple I would have been even more excited about because that one is just really light and lovely. And green apple we don't have as much of as red. Daydream Oasis. This is current in the catalog. This is a really good green fresh scent that leans just a little bit floral because I think it's got some pear, blossom, and maybe a little bit of water lily. Very good. And then we have here, It's a Small World, happiest cruise that ever sailed. This is a very strong lime and I think fruit sugar smell. I have not had the guts to melt this yet. If I'm going to enjoy it, it's going to be on a very springy, sunshiny day. So I'm sure its time is coming very soon. It's really strong and scares me a tad. So let's get into more of the yellows. And there are some of my favorite spring summer bars here when it comes to either floral or fruity. So we've got Confetti Showers, which just went away in our Mardi Gras collection. But to me, this is more of a spring bar. This is so happy and light. It's definitely got citrus and it's got a bubbliness and it's just like a party waiting to happen, and it really does go with this beautiful golden color. And I have here a bar of Scarlet Sunflower, which is from the Retired Fall Winter catalog. This I don't know if I will melt, but you just never know when you want some sunflower and maybe you want a floral but you don't want anything that's too summery. Oops, excuse me. This is really, really pretty with the cranberry and the apple that goes with the sunflower note. Then I've got an orange one here, which is just a really, really happy scent. This is Oodles of Orange. It is every kind of orange fruit you can imagine shoved together in one bar. I know people probably think it smells like oranges, but it really just smells a lot like McDonald's Orange Pop. And it's very citrusy and it's very, very assertive, but it's super fun. Another one we've got here is Simply the Zest. This was from the Valentine's collection. This is very pretty also. This is really a light and fruity, and it's a little bit more complex than Oodles of Orange. I think this has some greens in it to round out the zesty quality. Very, very elegant bar, honestly, and I'll look forward to melting that. The next thing I've got here is Cashmere. Now, this goes in a totally different direction scent-wise. This is a musky old lady boudoir scent. And it's got Lily of the Valley, and it is odd. This is an old school smell. I really enjoy it, but I have to be in the mood because it's quite strong and it's very distinctive. So that is Cashmere, not to be confused with some of our other bars that have Cashmere and then something else in the name. That is a very, very old bar, and it's just Cashmere. Coconut Lemon Chiffon. Now, I did pull this one from my club too because I'm just not melting very much of it, but when you want like a really just scrumptious lemon bakery scent. This has a touch of coconut, and it's a light, sweet lemon cake. It is so good. But I'm not melting enough of it to justify keeping it. Pina Colada Cha-Cha. Now, here's one of the truly tropical summery bars that I wanted to throw in here, because when do you not want to melt Pina Colada Cha-Cha, except maybe at Christmas time? This is so good. If there's a springy day with lots of sunshine and I'm going to throw the windows open, I might be ready for this a little bit early. Oh, you know, what's really funny is sometimes something will trigger an odd scent memory. I love Pina Colada Jelly Belly jelly beans. So this scent is so much like that. It reminds me more of a childhood Easter basket than it does summertime sometimes for me. It's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. Pineapple and coconut. This is current in the catalog, and you need to get yourself some. It's great. Only complaint is it's a medium at best on strength for me. Then we have soft plumeria, and literally right before I started to film this, I saw that our next Epcot collection, which has more bars than last year, is going to include soft plumeria again. So this is a favorite of mine that I did pull from my club, and I'm so glad that we're going to get it again. And if any of you miss gardenia, it's not lush gardenia, but I saw just a sneak peek of some things. I haven't even read the paperwork. I just saw some things on Instagram. There's a gardenia smell in our next Epcot collection, guys. So hopefully that will be good if you mourn the loss of lush gardenia. Now the next one, oh, and I didn't even tell you what's in soft plumeria. That has teak. It's got plumeria. It is a beautiful, creamy, lush spring summer floral. And then one that's even better than that, which is still in my club, personally to me, is tiara and coconut. Although I will melt both, I'm really excited to get more soft plumeria. If I burn through what I got, I can get more. Oh, but this tiara and coconut. This is a little bit more sunscreen, a little later in the summer. That one's more floral. This is more suntan lotion. Oh, man. I love this. It's creamy. It's intense. It is delightful. I would love this in perfume. Absolutely phenomenal. All right, next yellow bin here. I've got a little bit left of Mango Margarita from our Scentspirations last spring when we did Go-Go Mango Scentspirations. This is excellent. If I really thought that I would melt enough of it, I would have kept this in my club. This is one of the better bars, I think, out of all of our Scentspirations mixes that they've come up with. It is light Go-Go Mango, and then you add this clean, crisp, tart lightness to it. It is absolutely phenomenal. I would love to get more of that. Right, we have here Pineapple Rose, which was a January scent of the month last year, not 2024, but 2023. This is something that I'll melt during the spring because the lemon and the rose and the pineapple is a very nice, fresh, fruity scent, and it lasts a long time. Now, this is a powerhouse, this Taste of Summer. I've got 4 cubes left. This really smells like Lipton powdered tea in a glass. So it has some good connotations, but also some bad ones for me. I think it was definitely better warming than I expected it last year. And at this point, I'm kind of double dipping. My daughter made me some wonderful coconut oolong tea, and I've got my coffee because doing this number of videos with this many bars back to back, there's lots of exercising of the vocal cords. So next we've got, Soak and Raise. This did not come back. I'm not shocked. I have a few of it. It is the funky white floral, if I could put it that way. Am I going to enjoy it? Yes, but there is almost like a goldenrod pollen note on the end of this that I think may be the reason it did not come back. But I'll enjoy it because I like those really funky white florals. Magic in Every Wish. This is a beautiful lemon lime sugar and vanilla smell. And I have piles of this in the basement, so I can go through as many of those as I want. We've got sun-soaked petals. Now, I need to melt this bar. I have several of it. And last year, I really didn't get into it. This used to be in the catalog. This is so unique. This is one of the few snapshot of real springtime scents Scentsi's ever produced, in my opinion. This smells like a field of springtime daffodils. It's not summery. It's not romantic floral. It's spring. I know it's got watermint and currant and daffodil. The daffodil is so realistic here. And it is a favorite spring scent of mine. Honestly, I may melt this tomorrow if we have good weather. Oh, that is just gorgeous. But it was a niche scent and most people hated it, so I know why it went away. Coconut Daiquiri. This is coming back for our summer Bring Back My Bar in July. This is so good. So this is one of the few banana scents where it's not gross. So you take the banana and the coconut and then you add sort of a limey and tart note to it. delicious, you guys. Can't wait to get more this summer. Next one is chamomile petals. This was another spring, early summer kind of a scent of the month last year. This is a very low-key, almost like a chamomile herbal tea in a bar sort of a smell. It's very nice with floral, and I think there's a little bit, maybe a little bit of jasmine. We have too many scents of the month and too many things that I have to memorize now, and I cannot remember as well as when I first started doing these videos, because every year you have to cram more stuff in your brain. Exactly what's in here, but it's light, sweet, gentle florals, and it's very good. I've got quite a few. Here is a bar that most of you say smells like cat urine, but the few of us that love it, love it. This is pineapple mint, and I wish I had held on to this in my club. This is so good. My younger daughter loves this. It smells like mint leaves. It smells like pineapple. And for me, it smells like lemonade that I will make in the summertime, where you take the fresh lemons, the fresh mint, you squeeze everything, you steep the mint in the sugar syrup, and you make homemade lemonade. This thing is a scent memory for my girls, and they will be very sad when that's all gone. And so then last but not least, one of my least favorite lemon scents of all time, lemon drizzle cake, which is still in the catalog. So I guess a lot of you love it. There's a funky note in this that just makes me uneasy. And I know there's violet sugar here on top of all the lemon. To me, it smells almost like honey and lemon. And my mom used to make me this horrible honey, lemon, and whiskey thing for my throat when I was a kid. There's a whiff of that in here, and that must be why I don't care for it. If I'm going to melt that, which I need to get through it, I will mix it with sugar cookie, and then it's pretty good, and it is a boomer. This thing performs. I just don't care for the scent profile. So those are the yellow bins. Now we're going to transition to spice and bakery. If that's what you're here for, you can really settle in now, because I have 2 large bins of all the things here, and I think I need to swap them because I see a little bit more yellow on this side. Now, my mom was the type where when I was a child, she just loves color. My mother is a person who loves all spring bulbs. She likes bright colors. She doesn't wear as much as she used to of bright colors from head to toe, but she is the woman who would literally go out in sunshine yellow from head to toe and then add like a red belt and a little red pin and red shoes, and it was incredible on her. I cannot do that. But anyway, all of these are color-coded a la mama, because she would get crayons in the big box and show me how to take them all out and then reorganize them according to the gradations of color. So I do blame, in a good way, my love of sorting these bins and organizing colors. For me, it's more about the scent. For her, it would be about the color. But that's something I got from my mom, and it is a very sweet, sweet memory. So let's finish up with the yellows. We already talked about Scarlet Sunflower. We already talked, here comes the sunflowers. I don't have much left because I thought this was coming back, and it's not. This is the summery version of Scarlet Sunflower. This one, Sunflowers, Musk, and Strawberry. So beautiful. If they put this in clearance, I'm getting a stack, because it's one where it's not a heartbreak, but I would like more if I could get my hands on it. So there's more of that. More chamomile petals. Okay, we talked about all of those. Let's move on to some oranges, and this is mostly going to transition into the woody and the spicy here. Although I do have Dumbo, who is hard to place. This is a really nice creamy orange and mango. Beautiful vanilla kind of a smell. And if my dogs bark, I'm sorry, the neighbor's dog is out barking. Truth, it's all good. Lay down, buddy. It's okay. This is excellent, and I don't know when they'll offer him again. He was pretty recently released as a re-release, and he's one of the nicest, like good late spring, almost like a creamy fruit pop kind of a thing. Okay, now let's move on to one of the types of scent that I melt happily all year long. And these are things that either have a really woody base or a really spicy base, but they're not too like Christmas or fall for me to want to melt all year. And you may argue with me on some of these because I am a spice and woods person, that the rest of you may put these away, but I just can't be without them. So first off, we have Vitamin R Relax. This is in my club. This is a gorgeous smell. I don't know that they'll ever re-release this. This is bergamot, I believe. Vanilla sugar, amber. I always say there's sandalwood and there isn't. One of the most gorgeous, elegant, woody... it's just like the cover. This is one where the cover just nails the feeling of this bar. That's what we've got in here. I use this a lot this time of the year especially. Now here's one that sort of takes us to paradise, but White Sands is a bar that it goes color-wise in here. Maybe it would go better with the Romantic Florals, but it's beige, so it's in here. This is so pretty. This is a bedroom scent mostly. Rice milk and jasmine and creaminess and subtlety. Patricia Gates and I both love this smell, and it stays in my club. Now, the next one I took out of my club, silly goose that I am, because when I was earlier on in my journey with Scentsy, I was more willing to boot things out of my club than I am now. Pacific Sandalwood. I have begged a couple off of some friends, and I am so appreciative of this that I at least have a couple. I've got like 1.5 bars in my stash. Why Scentsy won't bring this back for us in Region 1, I do not know. This is the most mysterious, marshmallowy, sandalwoody, summertime, just makes your house smell amazing, but not very strong scent. And in the other regions, I think they get to keep that all year. Okay, what else do we have here? Now, here's one where I don't know whether I should have thrown this in or not, but Pumpkin Cashmere to me did not scream fall as much as it's just a really nice, rich scent. So it's got pine cones and cashmere and a little bit of pumpkin. But it's more just like this golden, warm, roasty, toasty cuddle smell. And I could see myself melting this in the bedroom on a cold, rainy day, even though it says pumpkin in it. Next one I've got here really should be in the other bin, so I'll move that over. Midnight Mahogany. Now, I really, to club or not to club, threw it in, took it out, threw it in, took it out, eventually just got extras, and I don't think I left it in my club. But this is one that didn't perform very well for me last year, but it's so good in either a really small space or mixed. I really like mixing this with Hemingway. And I also think I like mixing it with Blackcurrant and Plum, or alternate warmering it with Blackcurrant and Plum, so I got a few to tide me over, and it may not come back next fall, who knows. This is a subtle and sophisticated smell that if it would just throw, I would have clubbed it. It makes me happy, and maybe it'll do better in the summer. It's like this really subtle woody mahogany with plum leaf and cinnamon and something. Very gentle, very elegant. Really like it. More of that cashmere I was talking about earlier. All right, Southern Sweet Tea. Here's a weird bar. Some of you love this. You vote it back a lot for BBMB. I tried it last year. I liked it better, but it's like fake tea with fake peaches. I don't know what else to say. It's okay. Doesn't really float my boat or make my heart sing. Time for a sip of coffee rather than tea, I think. Okay, next in our roster here, we've got the Beautiful Vanilla Bourbon, which is another bar that I had saved for my younger daughter. I have taken this out of my club because it's not a great performer. It's a now you smell it, now you don't bar. If it was stronger, I would have kept it. Really beautiful scent. This was Father's Day. Then it was in the catalog for a while, I think, and now it's gone. Nutmeg and this really nice bourbon and vanilla, but just doesn't throw very well, so not really worth keeping. Another one that's kind of like that, but a little better performer is Graduation, which is like suede and mahogany and apples. Very subtle, but this is the sort of subtle where it does keep pumping out scent. Some of those other bars, it's like now you smell it, now you don't. They're frustrating. This one's more consistent. It just needs a smaller space to perform. So I have picked up tons of this in clearance sales, and I will keep getting it if I can get more. Hometown Cowboy. This is really making a run for favorite scent of masculine kind against White Amber Antique for me right now. I need to do a wax war of the two of these. Hometown Cowboy, I was melting this the other day. Oh, this is so good. Greg loves it too. It's just the best leather, masculine, not too much cologne, not too cold, really nice male scent. Oh, is this good. And then White Amber Antique is so similar. If you can't get Hometown Cowboy, just order White Amber Antique, which is currently available. This is just a hair more woody and warm compared to the Hometown Cowboy, which is just a little bit more cologne and more suede in the Hometown Cowboy. Absolutely gorgeous, both of them. Very, very similar scents. I know I'm not supposed to, but I would wear this even though it would make me smell a little bit more like a man. I love those. I just love those. Okay, next one that we've got here is Palo Santo, and I can hear the groaning on the other side of the camera. This is why these videos are fun. I get to talk about the bars I love that the rest of you hate, and vice versa. You know, oh, I love this. I actually like this as well, if not better than Palo Santo and Cinnamon, which I know is strange. I like this sharp, smoldery, smoky thing that this Palo Santo gives. I've got several bars. Whenever it comes back in a flash sale, I usually grab a few, and I'm sorry, I just unapologetically like that bar. Okay, Saddle Up. Now this is another one where it is probably a little bit more mainstream because there's a warmth to this, more so than Hometown Cowboy. I have all of those leather bars in my quarterly club. I did have Vanilla Suede, which I'll be pulling here in one of these stacks, but it was too many, even for me, of the suede-y, warm, woodsy bars. So I've got Toasted Acorn and Oak, which we're going to talk about next. I've got all these bars that are brown and somewhere between leather, cologne, and wood. So somebody had to go bye-bye, but it hasn't been Saddle Up yet. I'm thinking Hometown Cowboy is going to be last man standing when it comes to if I continue to weed out any of those leather, cologne, male scents, because it is darn good. Anyway, let's keep going. Toasted Acorn and Oak. And if I had to choose between Toasted Acorn and Oak and any of the bars that I just mentioned, this would win, because this is wood and chestnut and warmth, and this is such an Elizabeth smell. Oh, I put this in the basement the other day. It's so good, you guys. This is so roasty toasty. It's cuddly. It's relaxing. I tend to like this even better late winter than in the fall when you're supposed to melt it, because I just feel like it sings in my home. Love that bar. That one's retired. Then I have Echo, which this is funny. I saved this for my husband because at one point he loved it. And whoo, this is like old-fashioned shaving cream, like old-fashioned, maybe 1950s barbershop scent. And even for Greg, there's bitter orange and some other really weird things in here. It got to be a bit much. So I need to melt the rest of this just because I think it's really good, but it's good in very small doses. Okay, next one we got here is Cashmere Pear. This is, I didn't know where to put this because it's more perfumey, but it's red ginger and cashmere and pears. It's more feminine, but it's just an atmospheric scent, kind of like your Pacific Sandalwood or your Graduation, so I stuck it in here even though it's a lot more feminine. Then we have the beautiful White Amber and Silk. This is currently available. This is a powerhouse. And this is a laundry scent, but it's very feminine and sophisticated, so this could almost be a perfume. It's got cotton, it's got the amber, the silk, I think it has cotton in it. This is quite nice for a strong, elegant laundry. Very, very good bar. That would be good with the Cashmere Pear. Then here is Palo Santo and Cinnamon, which I did throw into my quarterly club because this is really nice. It's definitely more fall than your Palo Santo. I had not smelled these two together, so I'm going to do this right now. The Palo Santo is summery charred wood. The Palo Santo and Cinnamon is a sophisticated, sharp scent that reminds me of early fall, but I didn't really like melting this in the winter, so I wanted to melt more of it over the summer because it gives you that clean, it's sort of spicy, but it's spicy in that restrained, sharp way. It's not warm, cuddle spices. Really, really good. I think I'm going to enjoy it this summer. Okay, here is Vanilla Suede, which is fantastic. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. But as I was melting Vanilla Suede in my bedroom about a month and a half ago, and this is why I pulled it from my club, I realized this is like a leather version of Jammy Time. And at that point, I'm like, I have so many different duplicate bars, I have to cut something. So it's going to be Vanilla Suede because I've got some satin sheets somewhere. I think that's going to be in the last video. I have tons of Jammy Time. I've got all these other things. This one ended up on the chopping block. I have at least 2 full clams of that, so I'm good for a while. Next here we have Redwood and Cedar. Whoo, this is an old bar and it's strong. Even for me, and I like wood, this thing is sharp. Really sharp. Really, really Cedar Closet. And so I don't know if I should mix this or what I should do with that one, but Amber Road. Now, here is a beautiful bar that my younger daughter likes. It was in our club for a while. This is very subtle. This is kind of like vanilla bourbon, but a little bit more like Spice Bazaar. Gorgeous, gorgeous scent. Okay, here we go into things that are more like gourmand spice. Cozy Spice, one of my favorites. I'll melt this any time of the year, except the heat of summer. I wouldn't do this in July or August, but it's just nutmeg, creamy, spicy goodness. And these are ones you guys probably hear me talk about a lot more commonly. This next row here, Vanilla Cinnamon Maple. This is my basement smell. Haven't kicked it out of my club yet because I'm afraid to, so this is just creamy vanilla and maple. And a little hint of cinnamon. So holiday, so happy. And yeah, even though it smells like holidays, I want to have that around all year. More Amber Road. Ooh, cinnamon vanilla. Currently one of the 2 spice things that's in the spring summer catalog. You just can't go wrong with this scent. It is very, very nice. The cinnamon and the vanilla together, and there's a tiny bit of coconut milk. It's creamy. It's gentle. It's really good for a summer rainy day. Good bar. Just solid bar. All right, Toasted Coconut Amaretto. I did a review on this recently because it was the first time I melted it, and I said I was going to save it for fall, but I just threw it in here just in case I want to try it again. This is a very intriguing bar that definitely has like a heavy, like late summer, early fall craveability to it, but it's so pretty. It smells like amaretti cookies and coconut in an Italian bakery, and it's just delicious. And then when you melt it, it gets kind of a homey spice underlayer that's really good. Dutch apple bread. Here's another weird one from last fall that is just so weird. It's not fall or winter to me, and it's not spring or summer. It's just kind of funky, interesting apple, and when I'm in the mood, I'll enjoy that. Then the more straightforward apple scent that's always in the catalog is our baked apple pie. I love this. This is so good. And I know most consultants consider this boring. This bar performs beautifully in my home. I may be one of the very few people who is always championing this. It's just good. It's simmery apples, it's homey spices, and it's never too much and it's never too little. It's perfect. Here is an interesting bar that I thought I was going to love. It's called All You Need Is Love. I'd heard great things about it on the internet. This is overwhelming for me. It is buttercream and cherries, and it's actually too strong. So let me move all of these guys back in here, and we'll get to the last bin. Now, that was kind of dabbling and pushing toward bakery. This last bin is going to be all bakery. Got another apple pie. This whole thing is bakery. And for some of you, this is what we live for, so this is probably the most exciting bin we've got when it comes to wax. Okay, we have Caramel Vanilla Delight. I am kind of using up what stash of this I did have. I pulled it from my club last year. This is such a good liquid caramel and white rum scent. If I had all the money in the world and did not have stacks of wax in the basement, I would not have pulled this, but you gotta pull something. It's gorgeous in the summertime though. Oh, it's so good. Next one is Caramel Buttercream. I love the scent of this. Doesn't throw worth beans, so this is no longer in my club, but this is the prettiest, straightforward, like caramel icing that Scentsi's made. It's so pretty. It is just perfect. Like you want to sniff it, and then you put it in the clam, and it's kind of like womp, 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 and you barely get anything out of it. It's such a tragedy. Next one is Frosted Cinnamon Roll, which is like you took caramel buttercream, added enough spice, and enough oomph that it does perform. So this is pretty subtle for a cinnamon roll bar. Really like it. That's staying in my club. I hope we see that back next fall. Next we have Churro Churro, one of the most beautiful vanilla summertime, and my hair is just driving me nuts, I'm sorry. Summertime bakery smells. This is so good. We just got this back from Bring Back My Bar last summer. This is a greasy fried pastry with the most exquisite vanilla and cinnamon sugar. It just makes me happy. One of the best bars for summer than bakery Scentsi's created. Next we have Frosted Ginger Cookie. No questions about performance here. This one I think will be more spring, but if there's a day where I just need spice but I don't want to go too fall, this will really work for even the summertime. It is like chewy ginger, like a preserved ginger candy with some bakery butter cookie. It's phenomenal. Staying in my club for a while. Next one is Caramel Praline Cake. Now this I just melted. I feel good about it, but I don't know if I'm going to keep this for forever because in all honesty, after I melt this for a long time, the toffee caramel gets a little sharp, almost a little bit fake, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. So we will melt a few more of these before I pull it, but as beautiful as it is the first few hours, I don't consider that one of the best bakeries as it opens up and lasts. The next one is Make Me Snickerdoodle. Now I have several of this. I don't really need this. Like I could take it or leave it. It's really good combined with certain things though. This was new last fall winter. It's sort of a nondescript cookie dough, like flat cookie dough with a little bit of kind of stale cinnamon. I know that sounds really exciting, right? But it is very good in alternate warmers with things like winterberry apple tea and other berry scents. So that's why I have some of that. Now here is a beautiful bar. Vanilla Waves. I already kicked the Caramel Vanilla Delight out, so I'm not going to be getting rid of Vanilla Waves. I thought about it, but I've melted some recently just to kind of try it out again. Not going anywhere. This is so good, you guys. And I know those of you that have always championed Vanilla Waves are cheering at the other end of the camera here, because there is just something about that is unique. It is strong. It's vanilla and caramel and sea salt and a little bit of maybe fresh air almost. Sometimes I almost get an orange note in that too. It's weird. And it's unique. Too bad that they pulled it a couple years ago, and I really, really should not be silly and take that out of my club. It is so good. Here's what I did take out of my club, and I have to say between Vanilla Waves and this one, Cinnamon Buttercream, I would use more Cinnamon Buttercream, and if it was one of those where I could choose, I would choose this. Although I think the Vanilla Waves is a better performer. Because this one's smoother. Oh, this is so good. This has mascarpone cream cheesy qualities. I do not know how I did not like this bar. And then I liked it, but I didn't love it. And now that it's gone, of course I love it. So thank you to my friend who keeps supplying me with a couple of these every now and then to tide me over, because that is one I really, really am sad I was not sensible enough to throw in my club. And it retired. Cutie Pie Cupcake. This one comes back occasionally in BBMB. It's really cheerful. It has beautiful, like a citrus glaze and fluffy orange cupcake. And it's a pretty good performer. It's just not a scent that makes me so excited that I have to keep it in my club, but I do like having one of those whenever I can get it. King Cake. This is also currently in my club, I'm pretty sure. This is really heavy, heavy bakery. I'm going to pull another one. Stroopwafel Delight. Both of these are really, really heavy bakery. Very similar. If you cannot get Stroopwafel, keep your King Cake. But the thing about Stroopwafel is there's a little bit more of a fall edge on this with a tiny bit of cinnamon sugar. And so I like them both. I'm probably going to keep them both, this one at least for a while. But long haul, long term, it's always going to be Stroopwafel Delight. The decadence of this bar is one of my favorite things of all time. Oh, and my younger daughter just started working at the wonderful local establishment. Like, this is not just anybody's ice cream parlor. This is a part of our community here in my town. And they do everything from scratch. Best ice cream you'll ever have in the world, I promise you. And they make their own waffle cones. And the other day she said, Mom, I went and opened the waffle cone bin and they just filled it with all these fresh waffle cones. She said, it smelled like Stroopwafel Delight, but in real life. So that means that is a good bar. Really, really cool. All right, Almond Croissant. Here's another one where, oh man, if I had to choose between Stroopwafel and Almond Croissant, I melt Almond Croissant more. I'm never getting rid of either one, but this is one of my favorite bakery bars, and it appeals to me all year round. Beautiful, decadent almond pastry with a little bit of cinnamon sugar, flaky croissant crust to die for. So, so good. Okay, the next one is Toasted Apple Butter. This is a great bar. We just got this back. What is with my hair? I cannot get this to stay out of my eyes. Oh, this is something that we just had in Bring Back My Bar, and I'm loving this. I've never had it ever before. It's quite a bit older than most of the other bars that we've had in a lot of Bring Back My Bars. It's beautiful. It's more subtle. Like apple butter frosting, I think that's in this row a few bars up. This one is more low-key. I can see myself melting more of this and not getting sick of it. I mean, I love apple butter frosting. It's never coming out of my club, but I have to be in the mood. This is more low-key, a little smoother, and I'm hoping that you all availed yourself of that when you had it. Here's another one, which not quite as much as cinnamon buttercream, but I do kick myself that I didn't club it, is Graham Cracker Crunch. And I had this in my club for a little bit, and it was one of those like, okay, I'm editing late spring, and this will come back next year. Same year I thought cinnamon buttercream was coming back. And it didn't. So I mooched this off of one of my friends when we bar swap. This is a very nice bar. Very unique with the graham cracker, the peanut butter, and the vanilla. And there's a caramelized note. This is great mixed with the strawberry one. Sugared strawberry. Makes a PB&J so, so good. Okay, next one we have here. Here's another one I took out of my club, but my mother-in-law backs me up with some of her stash. Toffee Butter Crunch. Oh, this is the best toffee scent. Like, this has so much depth, where the caramel praline cake is pretty for a bakery. This is just robust and warm and friendly. It has walnuts, Silly, silly me. Should have kept it in my club, honestly, but I have quite a few, and I have a way to get more. Oh, like, I want to melt this one, too. There's a few of these that I'm talking myself up into sticking in the warmer. Sun-soaked petals will not go with this, but that was another one that I'd like to melt soon. I just need to pull these and put them in a pile because, man, if you just want a happy toffee scent, this is a really good one for August and September. Oh, so nice. Next one we've got here is more caramel praline cake, so I don't need to talk about that. Salted caramel toffee is like the slightly better behaved, little bit more demure cousin of toffee butter crunch. I like the full-bodied richness of toffee butter crunch, but this is super good too. So this is saltier, and this has a little bit less of the depth and more straightforward, just nice toffee caramel. It's really nice. So, like, between the two, if you can imagine this one wearing, like, bohemian clothes and you've got, you know, the feathers and the leather jewelry and all that, this one is more like nice camel business suit. And it's good at what it does and it's efficient, but I think this one's a little more fun. Anyway, so there's those two. Oats and honey. Really, really nice smell. It's another one where I debated taking it out of my club, and eventually I did. And we have another one. I've got Cozy Kitchen that made up for booting out Oats and Honey. This is more golden brown and delicious, but it's probably our best oatmeal scent of all time. Cozy Kitchen is right up there, though, and this has more interesting notes. Oh, man. This has some caramel and some cinnamon and a little bit of cream in with the oatmeal. This is so good. This is one that we just got back into clubbable status when they did it as a brick for Christmas, so this one's staying for me for the long haul. Right, then we have butter pecan. Oh, this is so nice. This is the perfect balance of fall, golden brown, and delicious with toasted, roasty pecans. And I'll melt this any time of the year. It's just a supremely decadent, gorgeous bakery bar. Love that. Can you tell where my heart is with all of these? Apple butter frosting. This one I have 2 bi-monthly, one of the very few that I keep at more than one of anything. And I mean, it is just phenomenal. This is such a huggy bar, such a happy bar, really sweet, decadent buttercream frosting with tons of apple and spices, ridiculously syrupy sweet, so darn good. Okay, toasted marshmallow. Here's another one. We had this around for quite a while. This is in my quarterly. And so I will swap with other people for an extra bar here and there because I only get 3 a year and that's not much. This is the most wonderful marshmallow scent. It has really good layers of toastiness and marshmallow goo. It's fantastic. Okay, then we've got, I just need to melt this, apple and oats. This I've been hoarding for my younger daughter, but it's just time to do away with this. This has a funky note. See, the Cozy Kitchen is slightly funky, but in a way I like. This is funkier. So I should probably melt these 2 alternate warmers and get that done because I'm kind of over that one. All right, next we've got maple rum cake. My favorite deep dark bakery scent that's more fall appropriate, but it's just so good that on a cold day I'll still melt this in the summer. This is spices, it's rum, it's butter, it's so good, you guys. Love, 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 love. In my club, never coming out. Bi-monthly, I think. So I have 2 of those. Ooh, okay, now here's one of the pumpkin ones that I will unashamedly melt in the summertime. Pumpkin cinnamon swirl. I always bi-monthly club this because I use a lot of it. This is primarily just a fabulous cinnamon roll with some pumpkin undertones that give it support. It's so good. And like I said, I'll melt this any time of the year. I don't think that if they renamed this, they wouldn't even have to take it out of the catalog. Not that I want them to, but it's just, it says pumpkin cinnamon swirl, so people think that you can only do that for fall. In my book, I've got like 3 of them in here. It's fine. Then the next one is toasted caramel sugar. Absolutely glorious smell. This is new. Same time that we got the toasted apple butter, these are like old smells, but new to me smells because they were in Bring Back My Bar. This is a gentle, very milky caramel smell, where it's kind of like the caramel praline cake, but simpler and without that extra bakery note. Very nice, is in my club. I don't know if it'll stay forever, but it's very intriguing. And I've got a couple left here. Sticky cinnamon bun, super cinnamony vanilla frosting. Not a lot of bun, but a lot of cinnamon and vanilla, and it's very, very good on performance. Will be staying in my club probably for forever. One of my favorites. And then we've got only 4 cubes left of Central Park pralines. We need a praline bar back in our lives, Scentsy. Please give us something this fall or winter, this pralini. Or give us this back in something, maybe in Scents of the Season. And I want gingerbread hugs in Scents of the Season since you took it away from me for summer. Oh, Central Park pralines is so good. My friend Brandy, this is her favorite scent, and we both mourn that it's not here. And last but not least, in my bakery stash is Perk Me Up. I'm going to try the other coffee scent this summer and see which one's going to stay in my club. For now, this sort of medium-level, milky, Colombian, just middle-of-the-road coffee smell is all I have. Does it work wonders? No, but when I'm in the mood for coffee, it's really good mixed with something like salted caramel toffee. So that's everything that's in my bakery bins and my yellow bins when it comes to my transitional wax stash. I told you this one would be long, so I'm going to take a break and we'll come back for the last section, which will be the romantics, the fruities, and the florals. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.